Hello and welcome to Big Orbit's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and I will be going through the cards shown throughout the past 7 days this week. This week we have finally finished all the Bermuda releases for GCBO3 and have gotten some pretty good technical booster spoils. I'll quickly go through the small amount of remaining Bermuda stuff and then straight after that go to the technical booster because all the people who don't play Bermuda have probably got a bit tired of the constant Bermuda stream. The GR for Bermuda has been announced though, which is Celebrate Voice Loris. She has Harmony, and as an act on the Vanguard circle, once per turn with the Generation Break 2, Counterblast 1 and a G Blast, bumps up to the same amount of rear guards as the number of face-up G units in your G zone, and until the end of the turn this unit gets. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if all of your units are in Harmony, choose 3 of your units to give 5000 power to, and until the end of turn this unit gets +1 critical. Now this is just sort of a upgrade of the original Loris really. It's incredibly easy to get everything into Harmony because you can just bounce so many back into your hand so easily. By the time you actually use this you can bounce most to all of your cards. If you use Garland Blossom Aina, you can just continue the power boost to everywhere and constantly throw out 5000s. Then for a grade 2 we have Brilliant Ocean Ellie. She has Harmony and as a continuous on the rear guard circle with the Generation Break 1, if this unit is in Harmony, this unit gets plus 2000 power for each Sentinel in your drop zone. When this unit is placed on the Guardian circle, if you have a Sentinel in your drop zone, you may Soul Blast 1 and this unit gets plus 5000 shield. So it's an okay card. I'm sure plenty of people will use it, but I think there might not be enough room for her. Then a little grade 3 skillful performer Minori. On the Vanguard circle and rear guard circle, Generation Break 1, when this unit attacks, you may Counterblast 1 to gain 3000 power. This is a clone we have seen in a few trial decks, I guess because Bermuda haven't had a trial deck and they have to catch up a lot, so they've just given them the clones of cards from other clans. And lastly for Bermuda we have 3 vanilla triggers, Impact Punch Michiru, a critical trigger, Voice of Fate Kasumi, a draw trigger, and Sweet Temptation Riko, a heal trigger. Now on to the technical booster cards, which I'm very excited about. First of all, we got the keyword announced for Mega Colony. The new keyword is Dark Device. Dark Device skills become available when there are no stud units in your opponent's side of the field on the same column as the card with Dark Device. So that means they could all be at rest, or they could just not be there at all. So if your opponent is one of those clans that don't have many rear guards, the effects still work. To show this off, we have Sky Slicing Rending General Superior Mantis, a grade 3, and he has Dark Device. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle or rear guard circle, you may Counterblast 1. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's rear guards in the same column as this unit and paralyze it. Then, as another Dark Device skill with a Generation Break 1, when this unit is placed on rear guard circle, paralyze one of your opponent's units. So it lets you paralyze 2 units with 1 Counterblast if you're on Generation Break 1 just by calling it. For a backup grade 3 to Darkface, Cyclomatooth is still probably better, but this is a quicker option as you don't have to re-ride, and also Cyclomatooth is quite hard to get a hold of these days, so this guy makes a nice backup in that regard. But the keyword has a lot of potential. It helps Mega Colony out a lot with stuff like Magia and Hollow. It has the potential to solve most of Mega Colony's problems if we get things that don't necessarily need to paralyze. If we get stuff that comes onto the field, and if Dark Device is active, you get to countercharge 1, soul charge 1, and do things like that, and call cards from your opponent's hand onto the field, then Dark Device could prove to be the savior of Mega Colony, seeing as at the moment Mega Colony is very matchup dependent, especially for Dark-based decks. Then we have a second Mega Colony unit, A-Class Mutant Sun Giraffa, a grade 3. On the Vanguard circle and rear guard circle, when this unit attack hits the Vanguard, if you have a Giraffa Vanguard, you may Counterblast 1 to rest and paralyze one of your opponent's units. Then your opponent's paralyzed unit gets a skill until the end of their next turn, which is when this unit is put into the drop zone from your rear guard circle or Guardian circle, choose one of your rear guards and retire it. This follows a similar wording to Darkface's skill. So when it says your, it means your opponent because it's their unit that's getting the skill. So basically if your opponent decides to intercept with this unit or call over it, then they have to retire another one of their units. And you can also attack the chosen one to put pressure on your opponent, because if the attack hits then they have to get rid of another of their units. This is a great card for Giraffa, and now all that Giraffa really need is a grade 1 and grade 2, and they'll be set because of the stride. Surprisingly, we get a new Murakumo grade 3 that is support for an old card called Dueling Dragon Zanbaku. This old card was an EBO 1, which is confusing to why they didn't reprint this card like they did with Machining Stag Beetle, but this new card is Dueling Dragon Emperor Zangeki. Now on the Vanguard circle, at the beginning of your opponent's main phase, if you have a Dueling Dragon Zanbaku in your soul, you may counterblast 1 to choose one of your opponent's Vanguards until the end of turn that unit gets. When this unit attacks, you may discard a card from your hand. If you don't, it gets -2 drive check. Then, as an act on the rearguard circle, to counterblast 1 and retire this unit, search your deck for up to 2 Dueling Dragon Zanbaku, put one of them into your soul and call the other to the rearguard circle, then shuffle your deck and at the end of the turn, put the Zanbaku that was called into your hand. So this unit will give your opponent a choice of either going -1 or -2. Most of the time your opponent will drop a card, but that might also cause them to ruin their own strategy for the turn. They would also have to make the choice twice if they're restanding, as they would probably attack twice, therefore the skill activates again. I don't think we'll see it in this set, but this gives us possibility of even more Dueling Dragon cards, in the same way that we recently got the Bladewing support. So if Dueling Dragon becomes a new little subclan, I think that would be pretty cool. Then as a grade 1 for Murakumo, we have Stealth Rogue of Silk Shade, Shizune. She's a perfect guard, so she's a sentinel. When this card is placed on the Guardian Circle from your hand, you may nullify an attack by discarding a card. Then on the rearguard circle, as a Generation Breaker 1, when the attack of your unit with the Shadow Stitch ability hits a Vanguard, you may Soul Blast 1 to return this card to your hand. Now the great thing about this card is you can clone it with Yasuie to call 3 of them, and then if one of your attacks hits, you can Soul Blast 3 times to put them all back into your hand. Murakumo will need new ways to put things into the soul to make this actually good, and also Murakumo do need quite a lot of countercharging, so that's why White Heron's pretty good. But if they do get new ways to countercharge and soul charge, I definitely recommend Shizune. Success did not get its skill revealed, but Great Nature did still get a little bit of support. This support comes in the very adorable Hamsuke card, Hamsuke's classmate Mechanical Pencil Hammy. She is a 8000 power grade 2, and on the rearguard circle, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may choose a normal unit with Hamsuke in its name from your drop zone and put it to the bottom of your deck. If you do, choose one of your other Hamsuke rearguards and give it plus 4000 power until the end of turn. Then retire the chosen unit at the end of the turn. This fixes the weaker columns that Hamsuke does have. You could easily use Hamjiro to retire that unit anyway and countercharge. That is all for this week. Please leave a comment on what you think of the technical booster stuff, because personally I find that very interesting. And the Dueling Dragons and the Hamsuke, nice little twist to what we thought we were going to get. So with that, be sure to check next week for the cards that are being shown then, which are most likely going to be mostly technical booster stuff. Even if you don't use those cards, it's a good way to keep up to date, because you never know, they might become important in tournaments. So until next time, bye.